Good morning. Introduce
Hi,
yourself.
I'm Alel Oxilios. I am a broadcast program producer and announcer here in Philippine Broadcasting Service, and I've been in service for 2 years already, and hopefully many more to come since I'm enjoying this career.
Tell us about PBS.
Yeah, PBS stands for Philippine Broadcasting Service. It is a government organization and mainly for media, specifically radio. It started in the late 50s, and then in the 60s it started to widen its scope and reach the provinces because it had provincial stations nationwide. However, in the 1970s, when martial law was declared, it was halted, and then after that, it was brought back to life in the 1973 uh, because it was made into Bureau of Broadcast, and then the rest was history.
What are the difference between the government-owned and private-owned radio station?
As for private-owned radio station, I cannot say much, but we as part of a government radio station our main purpose is to let the word of the government known, let it be known to all the Filipino people and to all listeners for that matter. And I guess as for my observation, when it comes to private radio stations, they might have other purposes, and primarily for revenue generation, since they get their funds out of their own. But for government, since we get our fund from the national treasury, then we are being run by the government. So our main focus and scope is government focused.
Can you give us a brief explanation of what business radio is?
Yeah, business radio is and the only FM station, government-run radio station that's in FM, and it shows, or we inform people, we inform the listeners the latest about the business. For example, we have this Philippine Stock Exchange update, and we also have business news to share. And we used to have this program, Business Brew, where we invite guests over who are into business to inspire Filipinos to start their own line of, or shall we say, stream of income, so that they would be empowered to become self-sufficient in terms of financial matters.
What are the struggles of a public announcer?
Struggles of a public announcer: we are prone to scrutiny because many people might, or we could be misinterpreted. So we need to make sure that we always have this reference, or we have this basis, and we do not show our own opinion, especially when it comes to delivering news. And we must show our professionalism, and we must make sure that no feelings are getting or are being hurt as much as possible, because we are catering to all listeners.
How do you report the negative news about the government?
Negative news about the government, we relay them we make sure, since we are on the, we are focused on letting people know about the government, about their message. When there's a negative message, we make sure that we get the other side, and then we deliver their side as well. So both sides are being heard.
How do you balance or being neutral in delivering the news even when you're against about it?
I always make sure that I set aside my own opinion, and I set aside my own emotion. If I am against this particular, if ever I'm against the views of this particular person in the public office, I do not let that get in the way, because that's one of the mandates of a broadcaster, to always maintain integrity in everything I do. So I set that aside, and then I deliver what he wants to deliver, what he wants to be heard, and then I get the other side as well. That maintains the neutrality of the news.
Most of the people I encounter says that you have a propaganda. Is that true?
Propaganda, well, we define propaganda as an information that is generally misleading, and the purpose is for a political agenda. So we make sure that we do not mislead the people. So I'm sorry, but I will beg to disagree with being a form of a propaganda, because we always we ensure that we do not express any form of personal agenda, political agenda for that matter. Our main goal is to get the information known as neutral and as powerful as possible. Powerful in a way that the government and the good plans that they have will be understood by the people.
Last question. We all know that the government radio stations report the news balanced and neutral. But how do you handle some problems when two officials has different opinion and beliefs? For example, our president and vice president.
So that's sad news that they have some misunderstandings. But as media personnel, I make sure that both of them are heard. So that's our main goal. We should not gear towards this side or the other side. And we all know that our government officials have their own idea that they want for the betterment of our country and for our fellow men. So for that matter, we just get the information known. That's yun lang. We will stay to that fine line as media personnel. We just deliver news.
That's it.
Thank you so
Miss
much.
Allen.